Invictus Gaming dive head first into the Snake Pit and have yet to be bitten by them at their home arena in Chongqing as they're currently up 1-0 over Snake, looking to try and take it to them in game number 2, which we will be getting into shortly. But going back to game number 1, we were talking about this when they were going through the draft phase, how it really looked like both teams got what they wanted, but without that Jarvan pick to combo with a Jarvan Ryze combo coming out from Snake, they couldn't shut down the Gangplank.
Yeah, big credit to Coach Maffa behind Invictus Gaming. The fact that Snake got so hard denied in the jungle. It was a priority pick of Sejuani after the Azir came out from Invictus Gaming. And then second ban rotation, they banned both the Zac and the Jarvan. I remember at top of show, we were talking about those shells or the compositions that Snake really like to run. And the two champions I said, Jarvan and Zac. And then they use it usually in tandem with something like a Taric, and it's a hard engage style of comp. Without that, you have SofM on Kha'Zix, and you know, for whatever he's doing in the jungle, and he was fine in the 1v1 matchup across from Ning, there's not much he can do when it does come time for the 5v5. So I'd like to see more priority given to SofM and getting him either a Sejuani, a Jarvan, or a Zac.
Let's see if that changes heading into the next Champions Night too. But they also kind of lacked some crowd control coming out from the side of Snakey. So I was really relying on Guoguo and Ryze to try and, you know, help him out with that. A couple of times SofM was trying to get a gank going in the mid lane. He was just too far away, and Kha'Zix jumps in and gets some damage, but that's all he could do.
Yeah, you can almost see it on SofM's face. He's like, Guoguo, you're supposed to lock him down before I come into the lane. So some miscommunication there, and it really was Guoguo's inexperience that cost Snake this set. But the other big pick that I want to talk about is that Gangplank up into the top lane. I think that needs to be a contested pick. I think right now both these top laners are so experienced that you're never going to crack the GP, and he wins anything. Like, even if he spends the entire time underneath his tower, he's always getting more gold. He gets massive kleptomancy advantage, and I think it either needs to be taken away or it needs to be a contested pick. They can't just give it away for free.
And this is the first week that we're playing on patch 8.2. Gangplank wasn't really touched, but kleptomancy was hit slightly. However, the big counter to Gangplank was
they got it.
The big counter to Gangplank was always that On. And On hasn't seen too much play since he got locked down a little bit, and now he can't really be thrown into it.
I mean, the idea is that you're able to shove Gangplank in, and then hopefully you have the stronger 2v2 in the jungle, and you can dive him repeatedly. But these players are they're too good. They set up the correct safety nets. The fact that both junglers started on bottom side of the map was better or advantageous to Ning, even though he got his Raptor camp contested, because he was able to get early control over both Scuttle Crabs, and more importantly, that top Scuttle Crab. Because all you need to do for GP is, in the early game, just set up the safety vision net, and then just you're fine, because otherwise you show up for a counter gank, and diving them is always going to be terrifying between a tanky Sejuani and a GP barrel that goes awry, and he just gets to sit up there and have a free farm.
And he's able to farm out, get to and pick up an MVP performance while he's at it as well. So this could be a major contested pick between Snake as well as Invictus Gaming. Invictus Gaming, though, they didn't have the start they would have wanted. Yes, they picked up the win, they picked up the finish, but didn't have those dominating lanes, especially the draft they kind of went towards. So wouldn't be too surprised if they swap things up and try to be a bit more dominant in the early game.
No, I think it was actually a great read, and they're probably going to do the exact same thing, simply because they understand exactly what makes Snake strong, which was targeting out SofM and having high priority on a pushing matchup, because Azir is always going to have the push advantage, at least for the early levels. It's only around level 6, level 7 that Ryze really changes that up and starts having push advantage against Azir. And why that's important is because you know SofM's going to invade. He went for a 225 Raptor steal. He literally did buff, Gromp, Wolves, Raptor camp, and then ran to his own Raptor camp. And if you have Azir, you're always going to have push priority. So I think Maffa just has a better read on what Snake want. Took advantage and took power away from SofM. You're not able to start the fights. You don't have any hard CC. And we have advantage in the mid lane that if you do try to rotate in, we're going to collapse on you.
And the question has always been with SofM, is he going to change? Because
no.
as we saw, they predicted to know exactly what he's going to do. Yes, he took away a couple of cans, eventually found him in the jungle, but over time, teams are going to adapt to this and constantly shut him down if he keeps taking the same playstyle.
But it's fine if you then have the backup resources for it. You know, Guoguo on Ryze, Kha'Zix, it's not the same as Ryze Jarvan because you're missing that CC combo, but you still have that incredible burst potential. And when it was a 2v2, they were going to win anyway. You know, Snake had the stronger combo there, so you can see both teams. I think they both had the right idea. Unfortunately, Guoguo just needs a little bit more time underneath the magnifying glass, which is why I'd like them to take responsibility away from him. You know, don't make him the sole CC member outside of just a Gnar ultimate coming through. Give some of that back to your experienced members like SofM.
Well, it's going to be hard to take him out of the spotlight in this match, especially when we're focusing so much on the top side of the map. TheShy against Flandre, as well as the fact that Ning is going to be constantly inside of Rookie's lane, making sure that they can shut down Guoguo Orc War. So it's a really top-focused game, and it showed in that last match. We didn't see too much to the bottom lane. Yes, it was a big 5-on-5 team fight. We saw JackeyLove try to be a little bit too creative with his flashy plays down there. But Crystal Hudie against JackeyLove and Baolan, it was very quiet. It was just back and forth pushing between the two.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. JackeyLove maybe a little bit overrated. JackeyLove's been, you know, a strong piece to Invictus Gaming. Obviously, they feel a lot of confidence to give him power, but you're against Hudie and Crystal. This isn't like Mako or iBoy or Uzi and Ning, and you pretty much go completely even. In fact, you lose portions of that lane with some of these trades. So JackeyLove certainly needs to step up if he wants to earn that reputation of being the superstar and the prodigy that he's supposed to be.
Well, let's see if he can. However, Snake are currently loosening their grip against Invictus Gaming, who are about to make their way out of the Snake Pit with one more win. The second team to do so if they can. Let's send it over to our casters to take us away for game number 2.
Cheers, Fish, and we are just a couple of minutes away from getting into our second game between Invictus Gaming and Snake. We'll see if they can indeed be the second team to escape the Snake Pit, because the first one was FPX, but no one else has made it out alive until today, maybe.
And that was the first set of the LPL as well, so how things have changed for Snake in their home arena, how they've been able to find those win streaks, but both teams on win streaks. So someone here gets upset, and whether it's the Snake Pit with all of their home fans going away feeling worse for wear, or IG managed to get upset in this game. Snake, of course, coming to the second one, 1-0 down. They need to try and find something, some inspiration, and something has to change for them. And I do actually agree with FLICKR that a lot more of the owner should still be with SofM. However, that was just IG's smart drafting.
It really was. They just seem to have Snake's number, but this time they will be on the red side, so we'll have to change the draft very slightly in terms of priority. Snake are going to be banning away the Zoe, however, from Rookie, and at the same time Camille from TheShy. Pretty much something that you will have to do. Though Vladimir, Xayah towards Guoguo, and most likely another mid lane ban as well. Galio is actually going to come out from Snake here. Well, last game it was IG banning away Galio, and then the final ban will actually be towards SofM in form of Sejuani. So not triple banning mid, because probably the third ban was going to be Galio. So first pick, going to be the Ryze once more for Guoguo.
And this is something that may not seem like a big deal to everybody, but it actually stands out to me, is that they won game number 1 with Sejuani and Azir. They choose to ban it away from Snake. And that's how high of a priority it seems that they have towards denying those champions. And if those picks were designed to deny from Snake, and they won with denying them, then that speaks volumes towards IG's capabilities coming into their red side draft.
This is the most expected pick coming out from IG. Maybe not first pick, but coming in from Rookie will be Orianna playing into the Ryze. Not only a good matchup, but it's something that we see time and time again. We even said it in the last Champion Select that most likely Rookie will just pick this in, especially if the opposing team picks up Ryze first. So that will be the response. And also, JackeyLove will get his hands on Varus as well. So I do wonder whether Snake will look to take away the Tam Kench.
They can go towards their entire bottom lane here if they would like to pick that. They're currently sharing the mid lane picks, and going into the second ban phase, red side does get that slight edge. So perhaps just picking AD carry, picking support here. Fantastic duo, of course, that you would pick up in one rotation. They get the Xayah Rakan. It means that IG will be looking towards a support you would expect themselves. Tam Kench isn't that great into Rakan. Usually Rakan's AoE will knock you both up and they'll do the damage combo. Braum tends to be the tank that you would look towards if you pick support.
Yeah, actually less pressure now to pick the support right now and can actually look towards the jungle because Jarvan is still up. So Ning will lock that one in for himself, and that's going to be extremely strong playing into SofM. It also takes away the Zac, so pretty much taking away all these picks from SofM
and
right now.
That's the other part, right? SofM was focused by IG in draft number 1. They banned away a tank, they picked the other tank, and then the second ban phase, they banned the rest of his champion pool, forced him onto a Kha'Zix. We're looking at most likely the exact same thing again from IG, unsurprisingly, because it is successful. But Snake, they went for their mid laner first. They picked their duo together, and traditionally that's not a bad draft decision. But when you're doing this to SofM, when you're forcing him away from these champions and to whatever IG decrees you will play, you will then play, then that's favoring IG.
At the same time, they absolutely knew what SofM was going to do in that early game. They were able to counter a lot of his movements, and while he kind of dragged Ning around the map just a little, they were still able to punish SofM when he went in for those invades off the back of Guoguo and the pressure that Rookie was able to provide. So right now, that's 1, 2, 3 jungle bans plus a jungle takeaway in the form of Jarvan.
Picked. Yeah.
So yeah, SofM, he's not got many places left to go.
He hasn't played a different jungler this split pulse. He
Yeah,
has
no
nowhere else to go by what we have seen from him, so we will see something new. If it's like a Nidalee, let's say, he wants to bring out something that he has played before, of course. SofM has a wealth of champions. His Elise Sin God, his Graves God. That's where he went in Korean solo queue and is ranked 4th at one stage, I believe. Like, he has got champions, but it's not comfort anymore.
Not right now. It will be a Braum pickup though, because Tahm Kench was removed, as was Alistair from Baolan. So Braum, great matchup into Rakan, significantly better than Tahm Kench. Jack's actually going to be pickup from Snake, and probably going to be jungle as well from SofM.
Yeah, presumably going to be into the jungle role. So some Jacks, it's a bit of a meme, don't deal a whole lot of damage in general. I'm not just referencing the one game, just in general, they don't do a whole lot of damage. More often than not, they build tanky and try and facilitate and work for their team. But Sejuani, Zach, pretty good at doing the same thing. Jax is just a better duelist in general. Feels like a very awkward composition choice there by having the Jax, but of course that was something that IG threw onto them.
Very much forced Snake to move that direction, and you know, Jax has not done well in the LPL. I think he's 2-7 right now. Jax, generally newer picks do not do so well until the LPL really warms up to them, and Jax kind of disappeared for a bit. So the fact he's now coming back now, we'll see if Snake really have that practice playing around that pick, because it is going to be a Gangplank for Flandre. That was left open until the final rotation, and of course TheShy will respond with Gnar. But that's always a problem with Gnar into Gangplank. He always gets out. So will Ning actually be able to punish right here with this Jarvan?
The other thing that we did just see was last rotations of tops, which we thought would be highly contested or higher priority. The Gangplank does stand out as the #1 top lane. If you watch TheShy playing that in the last game, you would expect that Snake would prioritize it higher, or at least IG even, with all the faith that they should have in TheShy playing that. But no, we get the last rotations and Gnar is picked into it. And now we get to question, of course, is it just going to be a Flandre Gnar into TheShy, or is it going to be a Mara Gnar into TheShy, which is the tank rapid fire cannon.
Yeah.
He wants to attack from a higher range with higher attack speed and try and ruin that Gangplank's life by dueling him. We'll have to see which direction, of course, TheShy will go, because he is a bit of a loose unit.
Well, we'll see if he actually moves towards that, because I'm very curious about that build, so I would love to talk about it. But for now, we definitely should take more of an insight into these compositions, because we have the Livers duo in the bottom lane. Once again, we have this Ryze, but we actually have more CC now coming in from Snake. It's not just Guoguo. We actually have a Rakan down there who can lock people down.
Yeah, major part of the engage for the side of Snake will be that Rakan. Having the Xayah there does, of course, enable further range with your engages. You can sit further back, and it's harder to lane against, of course. So engage in lane, engage outside of lane. Jax is complementary with that as well. Double crowd control jungle mid duo, where it's not just going to be Guoguo trying to do all of the work for a Kha'Zix bursting.
Right.
Jax can burst, but he can engage, he can initiate as well himself. Lots of extra opportunities are there for Snake, but I still think that IG have got a pretty good composition to deal with it, to compensate for everything that's going to get thrown at them. Say, Braum into Xayah and Rakan. He can jump to save his AD carry. He can automatically put the door up during that time and be well off for it.
And JackeyLove also gets his hands on the Varus as well. Very early rotation. Once again, the crowd always going to be behind. Yeah, flip that sign real quick. And IG have really turned up as well. The fact that usually you get these big turnouts for Snake in the arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, Invictus' hands have also turned up.
Now, we've mentioned the bottom lane already in terms of, you know, Rakan can engage. Baolan's very good at dealing with the 2v2. But there's one thing that every Rakan can do on Summoner's Rift that tips the balance in their favor, and that is Unsealed Spellbook, Exhaust Ignite Rakan. Every single Rakan in competitive should be doing this. I recently saw it from the rank #2 Korean challenger player. He runs Rakan and Tahm Kench. He runs Glacial Augment, Tahm Kench, and he runs Rakan with Exhaust Ignite. That's his 2 things that got him to rank 2 in Korean solo queue. The reason this works so well, specifically with a Xayah, is that extra range. The fact that you have 3 dashes, you're always safe. So why not take another combat summoner spell and just trade it out when it's no longer going to be valid for you to have?
Yeah, exactly. You don't need that flash to come in there. This is a match prediction coming in here exactly 50-50.
Jesus.
Yep, exactly 50-50.
IG currently look like the better team, so 50-50. The devout fans, of course, of Snake, rightly so. Both teams rank 1 on their respective conferences, East versus West.
And a 6-win streak, a 7-win streak. One of the streaks is going to die today, Rusty. Eventually, they were going to have to meet each other, and it is today.
That's correct.
We had the reverse of that the other day. BT in top.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
One of the streaks was broken the other day as well in one of the most epic game 2s you've probably never watched.
Yep.
But it was fantastic, and I would recommend it.
Yeah, go back and watch that one for sure. But here today, we can take a look at this bottom lane. So, see if Hudie can be a little bit more aggressive using his 2 summon spells, or whether Baolan's just going to put a shield up, try and block that one from happening. Though JackeyLove just hit Crystal in the face like 4 times.
Yeah, Crystal felt like he was stuck between minions or something.
Yeah.
Turned to trade. That was very awkward. Now JackeyLove does get a nice trade, but level 2 goes to Snake first.
So there's the punish as well, because Baolan, he almost saw the perfect opportunity to hit Crystal while he was away from Hudie, or vice versa rather. But not going to be the case. Looking towards the mid lane right here, Rookie playing into Guoguo. And he does have this jungle pressure right here because he has the Jarvan around top side. So we get to see Orianna just be extremely frustrating to play against. Just push in constantly, push the ball in, land those Q/W combos. That makes the matchup very obnoxious for the Ryze.
Yeah. Of course, area and sorcery to be required for the Orianna into the Ryze matchup. You want to poke, you want to sustain against him with your damage constantly, and that way you get to push him in under the turret. So of course you can see the area to be there. Pretty much standard for Rookie on his Orianna. Has got lane control, and that enables the jungle. We mentioned the 2v2 in the last game, how important that 2v2 can be for the outcome of the early game, and the early game being very important for deciding the entire game between these teams. Well, if the Orianna's pushing in a Ryze who needs those item spikes, needs those power spikes, then Ning is completely unlocked. It means that SofM is the opposite of that, and SofM's the kind of jungler that'll do it anyway.
Yes, he will. We'll see what he moves towards first, because so far he's pretty much just gone for a full clear. And Snake get the opportunity to push forwards, take away the blast cone, remove some of those ganking opportunities for Ning. So we return to the bottom side right here. And Guoguo farming very far back. This guy is just feeling the pain in mid lane currently.
He's pretty much dead in the middle lane. He's completely irrelevant. And once again, Ning very much unlocked. He has walked through vision, I believe, that would have just spotted him, the one near the explosive plant. But he's here, and Snake...
Oh, they're actually going for the engage right here onto Baolan. Just get the dash back, but the CC is already down. Ning actually probably misplacing the old FLICKR right there. Doesn't get the follow-up, so Crystal and Hudie drop low, but it's not going to be a kill.
Yeah, they actually don't even use a single summoner spell here, Snake. They come out one summoner ahead, and Ning's just going to recall, and SofM is already here. Perhaps the counter gank is now a possibility.
It is. There are multiple summoners up there. JackeyLove and Baolan both have their flashes. SofM very much wants to at least burn some summoners down here, plus the minion wavers pushing in, and JackeyLove and Baolan not looking to back away. SofM now turning up to this one, pops the counter strike. We'll get the double stun down, plus the knockup. Not going to happen. Great flash out from JackeyLove, diffuses the play.
It needs the respect flash. Once again, an exhaust and an ignite available for Hudie. If he was knocked up, he was probably just dead. Both bottom lanes, they get ganked once, but they're able to walk away okay for it. IG the real losers in this trade, though, as now that is another 2 summoner spells completely burnt. There's only one left standing in that 2v2. Junglers should be going back down there. They should continue to pressure it, particularly Snake.
And at this point, I would like to flag that Flandre is 20 CS down. He's actually gone for the coin in this game right here, so it's almost the assumption that he will be missing a bunch of farms so he can get some of that gold back via the coin, but it's almost saying that I just very much respect TheShy in this matchup.
Start item diversity between the top laners in that respective matchup. Of course, Relic was what we saw last game. And Flandre, acknowledging that he's going to have a bad time, as all Gangplanks do, is having a worse time, and he's built items for exactly that.
This was very much predicted by Flandre, so we'll see how it works out in the end for him. Just needs to survive that laning phase.
Oh,
good shockwave out from Rookie. However, Ning trapped underneath the tower. He's going to take multiple tower shots, and Hudie comes in. Doesn't even get the assist from that. Guoguo just killed him by himself.
Rookie hits a shockwave, and you're thinking, okay, now's the chance for them to go. But Ning, I mean, we're at 5 minutes and 59 seconds in the game. Right now, his stopwatch is available. He didn't have it during that fight. He dies, diving a turret. IG went a little bit too soon. I think it's fair to say.
Guoguo flashing back, gets the return kill right there. And SofM is able to invade off the back of this as well. So perfect timing for the mid lane and perfect timing for SofM. We get to see that one more time though.
Max ranges the shockwave, of course. Rookie playing it perfectly, and now Ning is caught.
Empower W.
No flash because he went forwards. And unfortunately for him, no chance in the world of getting out because of how well Guoguo plays it. And the mid laner of Snake has been stepping up a lot this split. We have seen some rookie moments. We have seen some inconsistencies from him. But generally speaking, he's one of the best mid laners in the league when being ganked.
Top lane, Flandre going to get away. Does dodge the boulder right there, but Ning is coming into the top lane. He doesn't have ultimate. And Ryze clears out the minion wave. If the minion wave was there, guaranteed it was going to be a gank in from Ning.
Yeah, definitely was looking towards it, and the stopwatch that wasn't available last time would have been, if needed, in the forthcoming gank, but is able to get away. Doesn't have the teleport, doesn't have the ultimate, however, and the Shy's lead thus grows even further from that. Just small amount of pressure exerted by Ning.
SofM's gonna have a field day now because he was not really able to do anything in this early game until Ning came in with that slip up. So now SofM is pretty much unlocked. He's able to move into the enemy jungle. He can start looking for these counter ganks, these counter camps.
Has been spotted though throughout all of this. Two separate control wards spot him going towards the blue buff.
Whoa, TheShy teleporting onto this minion. He's looking for the chase down as well. There's the stopwatch, and TheShy, he's going to take another tower shot. Comes in with Mega Gnar. He does have the flash, and he doesn't have the squeak. Comes in with the wallet, but it's moved away from. Great flash out from Flandre. And now TheShy is kind of in an awkward situation, but Flandre will not follow him into this bush.
Very close between these guys in the top lane. TheShy didn't have the ultimate, so he just had to try and flash wallop. Doesn't find the target. Tragically, of course, but a great flash from Flandre. He's able to defuse that situation. Junglers on the opposite side of the map fighting each other for the blue. But I believe SofM did get in the end and now engaging bottom.
Chain of Corruption down onto Hudie. He's got the stopwatch as well, but Crystal really unable to defend him. He's not quite in range to allow him to jump over, though he will put the return damage onto Baolan. It's not going to be a kill. Invictus Gaming find one of their own.
And the importance of Baolan zoning away Crystal there, of course, to prevent any kind of extra dash range to be seen, means that they will pick up that kill under Hudie down in the bottom lane. Very well done, of course, from IG with their execution this time around. They secure it. Just makes you wonder if the E was even available. I don't believe it was, simply because the stopwatch was used by Hudie.
Yeah, and if that was the case, maybe it was barely out of range, but the thought process was there, so great stuff from Invictus Gaming. Rookie now going to collect his blue buff, move back into the mid lane. He's acquired himself a 20 CS lead in the mid lane. Bottom lane has now done the same, and Crystal will have to push up and looks for another wave, in fact, before he decides to go back to base. Top lane is also 20 CS ahead, and Invictus Gaming are winning through lane.
And when you look at the differences between games 1 and 2 here, top lane, when the Gangplank was against the Gnar, he got a kill with his ultimate early GP. TheShy used it towards mid lane, was able to secure 1 kill, and that helped so much with preventing a Gnar from snowballing. That's not going to be seen this time around. The Gangplank ultimates were used top lane. He's having a hard time dealing with TheShy's pressure. The rest of the map, you still got a nice CS advantage in the mid lane for Rookie, but the kill is there instead. And that's going to compensate for a lot of the early deficit that Guoguo was experiencing against Rookie's pressure cooker of an Orianna in the mid lane.
Now we are looking towards SofM. Can he open up anything for his team? Look for these invades, find those 2v2s in the top lane or the mid lane, more likely the mid lane than the top lane. But Guoguo is currently still being pushed back.
Yeah, and I think mid lane is the place to look if you're SofM, at least to control the vision, which he's doing right now. Double crowd control, as we mentioned, between a Jax and a Ryze does enable them for better ganks in that area. At the same time, if he goes towards top lane, TheShy's already controlling it, and if it's a 2v2, then he runs the risk of losing even more for that. So if he's getting vision on top side, it's actually just to maybe get vision, unless TheShy completely overexerts himself, or they bring up 3, which they are.
SofM smartly just playing ever so slightly out of vision range right there. It's exactly where you need to stand. He now edged in a little bit closer just as Guoguo is coming towards the play, but decides not to go for it in the end. TheShy pretty much just having to use his 6th sense to find that one out.
But it does reveal the jungler's position
in the bottom lane. Nice double knockup coming in from the Rakan. However, flag drag. The dodge by Crystal was good, but the Rakan is in deep. Great blade caller, locks down 2. And Ning, he's by himself underneath the tower. He has to go into the Zhonya's effect. And JackeyLove is low himself. Can he stay in? No, he cannot. Blade caller! Couple seconds off. Nanoseconds, I should say. Not seconds, absolutely. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Flandre looking for this gank with SofM, chasing down onto TheShy in the top lane. He's already used the Gnar ultimate, and Guoguo, he has him in his sights underneath this tower. Does he have the damage? Yes, he does. Spell Flux for the kill.
Calculates it very well, Guoguo, to secure the kill on the top side, and very close between successful trades, respectively, of each team. IG, they bring Rookie down the bottom. They get the turret, and that's the biggest win of all. First turret of the game does go to IG, but Snake get a kill topside during all of this, where it was honestly just immaculately played by the bottom lane 2v2 of Hudie and Crystal to prevent any kills from happening down there. We'll get to see what happens top. SofM wraps around through the tri-bush. Very easy opportunity to get a gank off here. And of course TheShy just playing distance. Yes, the ult connector knocked him into the wall, even though it didn't look like it. And he's able to walk away under the turret. And for a second, you're like, maybe he has enough health to get away from Guoguo, but calculations.
Was able to tank the tower, and that one is get the spell flux down. So after that, Invictus Gaming will get the tower. That's what you said it was the important thing. And now they can swap their bottom lane towards the top lane, look to push down to the tower and try and use this tempo that Snake weren't able to get off that play. So even though the bot lane played it very well in terms of absorbing pressure, extremely well, it was the kill in the bottom, or rather the tower kill, I should say.
And it's the item spikes for IG that's also going to be a benefactor of the kill in the tower that they got down there. You've got the Guinsoo's Rage Blade completed for JackeyLove, and it's just the Nessence Reaver that isn't even finished for Crystal. So comparatively between the AD carries, IG are slightly stronger. That's going to do wonders for them. And then you say, well, there's a 2-0 Ryze in the mid lane for Snake. That's probably going to be a major deal. And yes, he's going to be doing a lot of work. He's very hard to kill. But Orianna at level 10, with a lost chapter alone, especially if she gets blue buffs, can clear waves and can beat the range of a Ryze. So mid lane's never really going to be under threat unless multiple people rotate. And so they aren't going to do that. Snake were going to play around their Ryze being strong, presumably just taking him to other lanes.
And right now, because of the lanes that were just traded, it means that Rift Herald is on one side, and unfortunately it's a Cloud Dragon on the other. So Invictus Gaming definitely get the bigger prize in this one, and will continue their tempo lead as Snake pick up their Cloud Dragon right here. So Ryze had to move towards the bottom lane to secure that second tower, push TheShy away. Now JackeyLove and Baolan are pretty much unlocked to do whatever they want. The first call, however, is to go back to base.
The Cloud Drake isn't going to be as valuable as the potential of the Rift Herald if it is in fact utilized. The mid lane outer turret is the place, of course, that you'll be looking with it. So the opportunity is there for IG to break open this game even further and grow themselves a little bit of a gold lead, but more importantly, control the mill.
Because right now they can push into the river right here, especially the upper river and bottom river. There's no dragon there to really contest for the next 5 minutes or so. But yeah, for sure, taking that mid lane tower, you can start pushing into the jungle, you can start contesting the blue buff, the red buff, some of the smaller objectives. So definitely going to be what's on the docket here for Invictus Gaming. Though TheShy for now is looking to freeze the way pretty much in the bottom side, trying to get himself some more farm, while Baolan and JackeyLove resume position in the top lane. So not looking to execute on the Rift Herald in the near future.
Both teams weren't able to clear out that vision either, so not looking to execute. You're correct, right now it's all defensive. I think a lot of this defense, the byproduct of it will be vision contested for around the top side of the map, and that's when the Rift Herald can be used in one way or another through this vision. If they can generate a pick, which they're looking towards, Varus and Braum are very good at it.
JackeyLove stepping up, but he has the rest of the team here, and SofM nopes out of this one, but the Chain of Corruption misses onto Crystal, so there is no chase from IG.
No ult connecting from Varus, no Q connecting from Baolan on the Braum, and suddenly with a lot of the crowd control and engage missing from IG, those were ultimates from Varus. The opportunity to go forwards is still there.
Well, SofM wants it. He's looking for the opportunity to use that leap strike, but this is going to push forwards, allow the team to take down the tower and even up the towers, in fact, a 2 for 2, giving time for TheShy to farm, but evening that one up from the play. So good stuff for Snake currently.
Interestingly enough, of course, from Snake, they do a very strong and smart movement as a 5-man unit. They send the Gangplank mid as Ryze rotates to bottom. So there's no chance to threaten mid lane, and Rookie's response is actually to rotate towards top lane and match it regardless. But when a Gangplank is losing lane, giving him 6 extra minions for free to then rotate to a lane that has no turret, no minions are going to die there anyway. He's going to catch up a little bit in farm, and if a Gangplank's ever catching up at all, he's actually getting closer and closer. As IG, they have finally made that play.
Here comes the Herald, and the tower's already low, the minion wave is there, so they will be able to crack the mid lane tower. So maybe a little bit of a miss to start with IG, but they were able to rotate that into the mid lane now. They can now push into the jungle, which is exactly what they're doing. While the blue buff is up, they're not choosing to contest it.
Of course, what I meant for the Gangplank was the Kleptomancy and the Q stacking being the health difference. They'd be pretty equal in gold, you would imagine right now as the CS between them. But the mid lane outer turret, that being gone, opens up for not just a Herald that's already gone, it perhaps opens up for the Baron, it opens up for the forthcoming Dragons that will be seen, and it's a Mountain Drake, so priority is there on these neutral objectives in the next coming minutes. And it also just helps so much for vision, which is what enables all of these objectives to be seen in the first place. So that's what we're going to be directing our attention towards. This is a really good moment in the game for IG to go back and just get control wards everywhere. Place them in an appropriate place and acknowledge that Snake's next best step is the mid lane outer turret, respectively, of their opponents of IG here. So have vision control around the area, get a pick, and suddenly anything you want can be achieved. If it's stopping Snake, scaling yourself, you can do that through the control wards. Look at how many they've got.
Yeah, just to quickly talk about the Gangplank real quick, he's actually 600 gold ahead of TheShy, even though the CS numbers definitely do not tell the tale right there. So he is currently ahead with that assist and with Kleptomancy and with his passive chiming in there. So he is getting further and further ahead as the game goes on, and we'll be looking towards these team fights as well when we get to towards the Mountain Dragon, which will be spawning around 3 minutes from now. Shouldn't be too much longer. And you can see SofM actually moving up top though. TheShy looking to try and punish Flandre in the bottom lane. Jumps out with Gnar.
Yeah, it doesn't commit to the Gnar. They both have flashes, and you'd imagine it could have been a trade in the end, but TheShy chooses to hold it. And I agree with that decision, as of course he is the Gnar. He wants to be a part of the Jarvan, the Narvan combo.
The Narvan, yep.
Of course, if Gnar jumps inside of Jarvan's Cataclysm, then they can kill everybody inside it. The walls are all around them. Bit claustrophobic inside there.
And of course, that is what Invictus Gaming are playing towards right now. They managed to get the lead through the laning phase, but you're all looking at the Narvan plus Orianna combo,
yeah,
you know, the big 1-2 to try and sweep Snake under the rug right here.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about what the individuals of the teams can do. You know, the fact that Snake are more engaged is a blessing to them, of course. Their team composition will be very happy about that fact, and then they're very good at kiting backwards once again. There's still a very good scaling composition, and that may be the direction Snake look towards, but IG, we didn't fully really extend that point out, but they have got a really nice team fighting 5v5 combo. And this is something that we mentioned in the first game. They were lacking in terms of individual skill and team skill when it comes to team fighting, which is a place that Snake excel. But when you look at the completed drafts here, you actually really would prefer to be IG's team composition in a 5v5 team fight. Snake, they're not too happy about the comparison of how a 5v5 will go for compositions. They're looking actually a little bit more at perhaps that 1-3.
Yeah.
Have 1-3-1, have Guoguo in a side lane, have Flandre in a side lane, and try and force people around the map from IG and then generate a team fight.
Yeah, it's definitely not the typical MO, at least in terms of step 1, but step 2 is always there. It's always look for a fight eventually, try and flex on mechanics. The fact that we will be able to go for these, but we'll see if they actually try and contest this dragon, which is now just spawning. Ning has done a full sweep of the pit right here. So Invictus Gaming are already here. We've got JackeyLove coming and Baolan, and the bot lane is being covered by Rookie, able to push up onto Flandre. So it doesn't look like Snake are going to be able to move towards this one.
Of course, we do have that prototypical Gnar build starting to be seen as well. No Marins for TheShy. He's going to go towards either the Frozen Mallet or he's going to go towards the Sterix Gauge. Both very much applicable in this situation. To be a bit beefier in the front line, but still contributing damage, so that hybrid itemization.
Yeah, we'll see if... I think Marin is just a special snowflake in that one. I'm not sure if we're going to see any more of those. Because originally I was thinking, is it for the Frozen Mallet and then being able to tack onto someone from longer range and then you combo the 2 items? But they just built it without the Frozen Mallet, so...
He does it in the Gangplank, I would imagine, specifically to have that extra range for the kegs. So whatever you choose it to be for, Marin may have his own answer completely. We're just sitting here trying to spitball as to why that would be. Definitely not something that is standard across any top laners of the world. Oh yeah, definitely not the case. IG now pushing towards the Baron, however. The Crab goes down, and that will actually go over to Snake right here. Baolan checking the pit, but he is by himself, so he needs someone to jump to. And Guoguo is going to do the right thing here, just anger Baron, so he does a bit of damage to Baolan, but he will get out safely, so nothing really to write home about. TheShy continuing to push the bottom side. He does have teleport, and Flandre actually moves towards the mid lane right here, so Snake are gearing up for a play. Yeah, the dance will definitely start around the Baron, so that's what they'd be looking towards. They can't break this outer turret. It just seems to be far too difficult for them to crack. They need to get some kind of pick or team fight before they go towards the objective. There's no Rift Herald to help them. Their composition isn't very good at engaging or diving specifically. Of course, you can go forwards with the Rakan Xayah combo. You can go with a Ryze ultimate if you're trying to dive people and FedEx SofM into the backline. But none of that is ideal, and not against IG's composition by any means. Walking into a shockwave is certain death. It's actually difficult for both teams to kind of walk into the other one. You know, IG walking into a Xayah. It's basically just Xayah as a team right here when you have Flandre and you've got Guoguo able to lock down targets. You're also walking into a counter-track, not so great. So as maybe attributing to some of the passivity we've seen in this game. Currently only 3 kills at 21 minutes on the clock. Because if you go for these plays, it's very risky. You know, multiple people die, that turns into an objective. The game gets blown wide open. Not something you want to happen this early on. Guoguo respecting. Of course, he just spotted Rookie on the control ward while the rest of IG were hiding around the corner. And IG were trying to clear a lot of the vision. They haven't cleared all of it. SofM actually, I believe it was, placed a very nice ward on the top side tri-bush of where the Baron is. It just got replaced, however. teleport wards and vision control is the name of the game, and I think that's the major reason we've slowed down so much.
Very much clear. SofM has to flash out of that one, and the fissure comes down to try and secure it. If the shockwave had hit right there, a pick onto SofM would have been absolutely perfect. Guoguo actually hitting the Baron, getting the shield. It's smart in one way and not in the other, because Baron's going to do more damage than your shield is able to block. But now he'll go back to base anyways.
He was trying to space the spells between his auto attacks, but still lost more health by standing there instead of letting it reset. So he's going to have to recall. Thankfully for him, of course, IG were recalling themselves. They'd placed down all of their wards and recalled, and then Snake had cleared them out. So they're like, well, we may as well recall and do all of it again. The dance resets one more time.
It does, but though this time Guoguo is moving towards the bottom side of the map. He doesn't have teleport, but he does have realm warp. And now he goes back to base once more. Maybe looked like
he was looking
trying,
for an opportunistic gank onto the
TheShy.
Yeah. You can find the Gnar there. Again, look at the Shy's items. That's not exactly a tank. It takes 3 items before you see a single tank item come out from the Gnar. Usually now he can choose between. If he wants to go like a Randuin's Omen against Crystal that's chunking him out all the time, and because there's 3 melee and AD champions there, makes a lot of sense to go tanky now. He may well go towards damage if he wants to split push. We have seen some Gnars go crazy builds, and I don't even just mean the rapid fire cannon. You can Blade of the Ruined King Gnars exist in LCKs. And
back in the day, the old Runans as well for the extra rage generation.
Back in the day, we saw it once recently as well.
Yep.
Of course,
definitely
I don't like it, but we saw it. Again, LCK.
I think it's great. It's you push faster, you get that rage so quickly. You triple the amount of rage generation you get from attacking.
Yes. And that is something that Hurricane does provide to Gnar. Is that the best option for
Probably
items?
not.
No.
Chain of Corruption connects onto Crystal.
Whoa.
Oh, big engage out from Hudie. Triple knockup as well to follow. And Baolan, he has to back away, but he's locked out for so long. Allows Guoguo to just kill him on the spot.
Dies pretty much through the E as well. Not tanky enough to get away from the Ryze damage. They secure themselves the support of Invictus Gaming, one of the major proponents of the vision control. However, IG still have control of the map through the topside river. They have the vision already in place. They're able to secure that further. Rookie arrived at the correct time, though he does need to recall. There's a lot of zombies hanging around in mid lane, just in case you were wondering. JackeyLove max ranges this. When he was aiming for Hudie, he finds himself a Crystal and then realizes what a mistake that was, because it wasn't Hudie in the end. The engage, the follow-up, the 3-man ult knockup was sick.
Hudie making this pick work right here, and that's more of the engage that we wanted to see in the second game, right? In game 1, it was Guoguo. It was like, okay, well, you have Rune Prison, and that's all we have. So, Guoguo, you better make that Rune Prison count. This time, we've got SofM, Hudie with CC, so you can get out of situations like that. So, that adaptation definitely paying dividends, even as we look towards that play. However, kill didn't mean that much. IG was still able to maintain control over the area. Snake weren't able to push towards the Baron. It was still way too risky.
We have rotated Flandre here, however, this time, and the first movement of top laners from the bottom side of the map towards mid has now been evidenced, and it's not a significant movement, but it helps a lot in buying some time for the rest of his team to get back after they were recalling. And they want that mid lane out of turret, but it's just so hard to get. Every single time they step up, IG are here, even when they get that pick. It was actually IG that wanted it in the first place, and so they weren't really set up to secure that objective or go towards the structures. And realistically, it's baby steps right now. Baby steps until that giant outbreak happens.
Yeah, and it has to be. Both top lanes currently do not have teleport, so Flandre has to respond to TheShy, who's still pushing the bottom side, so definitely implies that Snake aren't looking to make a Baron play in the near future. Probably just going to wait until the teleport is back up before we start to see any more plays. Though over time, TheShy will start to erode this tower bit by bit. Flandre will take the opportunity. He's actually going in because he has Guoguo coming down. The round warp is going to close in around, but TheShy is opening up a lot of distance. Guoguo, he's popped Ghost though. Whoa. Great ultimate in for TheShy. Buys a bit more time. The ultimate, the lockdown, but in comes a Rune Prison and puts him down 6 feet under. Invictus Gaming going to take this opportunity to try and burst down Baron.
Yeah, chooses to buy some time to shine. Here they go, 2k health.
Hudie gets the knockup. In comes Crystal as well, but he can't get too close. SofM, here comes the turnaround onto the target. He's dead. There's no smite, and down goes the Baron. Ning with the secure, and now Crystal under attack. He'll look to back away, and Hudie wants to get it close. But what was that damage? Dissonant removes him. Rookie with the kill, 2 for 1.
And suddenly Snake decide to go bottom lane. They thought they had an opportunity to get a pick. It just takes so long to secure that Gnar kill, and even when they get it, there was no ultimate ultimate from Guoguo to get to the other side of the map. Flandre didn't have teleport, for Christ's sake. They're just going bottom for the sake of a pick and lose themselves Baron.
Absolute disaster. Could see what they were looking for on paper, get the pick, turn it into an objective, move towards the mid lane even, but Invictus Gaming charging down the Baron, and then SofM jumping in very early. He was in the Baron pit as soon as 2k ticks, and of course Invictus Gaming are just going to stand there and be like, okay, well I guess we'll just kill SofM.
Yeah, and again, credit to IG actually around the Baron. Not only did they decisively go to the pit and decide to do it, not only did they have vision control before going to that play and reacting very quickly to what Snake threw at them, but SofM jumped in and they stopped hitting Baron. Only SofM was damaging the Baron that entire time, and they prevent it from being a smite battle. Ning even wins the smite battles that we saw in the earlier games. Playing this well, Hudie needs to be careful.
Playing with fire, because there are not just one, but two control wards in that bush, so they can see you doubly as well. Invictus Gaming taking away the red buff, and taking everything away in the bottom side of the map. I will note that Guoguo has picked up all of the kills so far for Snake, so he's doing pretty well for himself. He's almost got 300 farm and just picked up the Rowdown's death cap, so this guy is still hitting like a truck.
That is an item choice at a half pulse. He's gone for a third item. Of course, it's an Abyssal Mask as his first item, so only 2 AP items to be seen. The third one chooses to be a death cap. That could be any item in the world. A death cap's his choice. Luden's Echo, if you want to do extra AP burst damage, get some boost speed. That works on Ryze. Liandry's Torment for flat magic penetration against the team that only really has the Wit's End and a QSS for magic resistance. I'm just naming mid lane items that could potentially work that aren't a death cap.
He's an investment type of man, Rusty.
Yeah, he's banking on the 6 items.
Exactly, yeah. You get another couple items and he'll be rocking all of that AP. JackeyLove, however, just kills SofM off screen. And that is, of course, very bad because Invictus Gaming now pushing into the base, and Crystal low himself will come out with a better storm. And Hudie tries to save the president but goes down himself. He managed to save Crystal, but the rest of the team being opened up on now. Ning was very far in front of his team. An execution kill. Parlay comes down, but the tower is dead. Invictus Gaming did get what they came for.
They may still keep going here, Pulse, just because TheShy is stacking up that Mega Gnar, and Rookie is still doing a lot of damage. They can kill them. IG are overstepping their bounds to try and poke down the inhibitor, and instead of pushing it, they are going to back away and respect that. But the turret gone does do wonders for IG in their map control. Running around in any following fights means the inhibitor is free to take. Snake, they do get the hold.
Yeah, overstep from overstep though. SofM getting caught right into Ning going in by himself, but props to Hudie. He managed to save Crystal in the end there. That was probably the difference between Invictus Gaming getting the inhibitor and them not.
Yeah, and remember this starts with SofM being completely caught out of position. We get to see why that was. And it was Rookie hitting a shockwave. Not a lot of Oriannas have the confidence to throw it out on a single person, but that is the case today. Hudie throws himself at them to try and save Crystal, and he does. He saves Crystal. Barely. JackeyLove also almost kills himself to the turret. Flandre is able to flash and secure that one with the Q. And then suddenly IG have realized they are a bridge too far, unfortunately. They reached a little bit too much, too deep into the pockets of Snake, and they were caught in the act.
Guoguo, it's still 8.2, so he's going to make his way out, and that minion will go back to his normal job, go back into that lane. But yeah, bottom lane tower also dropped off the back of that play from Invictus Gaming. So in terms of gold, it definitely pulled further ahead. It was just that the push was stymied. They weren't able to take the inhibitor off the back of that, so unfortunate, but they will manage to regroup now, look for another push, most likely into the top lane, as that is the only remaining inner tower.
The major leader so far in the gold score that you're seeing on your screen is actually the AD carry role and the support role for IG, so their 2v2 is doing exceptionally well. Rookie also ahead, and that's against a 4-0-1 Ryze, I might add. Who's now going towards the Zhonya's Hourglass as his next item, which does make sense given that he just had to use the stopwatch, so he's pivoted.
Moves away from that one. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, TheShy is still pushing out this wave, so Invictus Gaming pretty happy to play this one relatively slow. They can push the top lane in, chip away at the tower, let TheShy push up into the bottom lane and become a separate threat. Because for now, Flandre is able to group with the team, so it's a 4 versus 5.
And this is that point in any Gangplank game that's just super frustrating to play against. Think like the Ziggs of old. The fact that he exists in a game just means when you try and siege, when you try and push, and oh look, my entire wave is dead. It is really disgusting to try and end games against, and that buys a lot of time to Snake if their goal is to continue to scale. And rightly so, IG should play this one out slowly, look for the picks, play cautiously with their health bars, but more importantly, Baron is needed. If they don't have the Baron, then they can't really get through any wave where a Gangplank is standing next to it.
But they have the steps already in place. They've placed down multiple vision wards within the top jungle. They are ready for this Baron to spawn, even though it's going to take a little bit long for that one to do so. It'll be about 3 or 4 minutes from now. They are still pushing up. They're keeping this vision line pushed up towards Snake. And they can do this. They can step into the tower. They can chip away. There's no minion wave, however. SofM thinking about the engage, but honestly, a loss right here in terms of a team fight will probably be the loss in terms of this game, and not just the game, but the series.
He's thinking about a lot of things, Pulse. He hasn't moved yet. He was contemplating. He was meditating before the actions. He's waiting for the IG roster to recall, ultimately, you would believe, so that he can start pushing forwards, getting some control of the blue quadrant in their side of the map to get at least some vision down. It's not because the Baron is up, but it's because that's where they have vision and they were controlling. And the Baron's up in a minute, so the sooner they can get, the closer they can push towards the Baron, the better. For Snake, the fact that they have mid lane control complements of that Gangplank and Ryze, being able to push constantly, has opened them up to do this.
Yeah, push up, move towards this dragon, get the mountain dragon. Ning jumps over the wall, and this is definitely more of a denial Baron than anything else. You know, Snake not really in position to siege a lot, but Invictus game, if they get themselves a second mountain dragon, that's going to hurt Snake a bunch when it comes to these next pushes. But Baolan, he's completely by himself. The shockwave isn't down just yet, and they just lose the support. Invictus Gaming may have to back away from this dragon.
Hudie is one of the best Rakans that you will see running around in the LPL since the first time that we saw him play. Ryze is ulting the flank.
Warp, trying to pincer them in. SofM is the one who's going to be sent in there. Gets the stun down onto Ning, but what a shockwave onto SofM and Crystal. Bladecaller comes in, but has evened up the tables. Guoguo separated from the team, trading off with TheShy, dodging out these skill shots. But he needs the rest of the team to help him out right now because he's captured the prey. But Guoguo, he hops over the wall. I don't really see where he's running though, because that's not his side of the map, and he doesn't have teleport either.
He has nowhere to go. He's only buying time. Maybe the rest of Snake can get a recall. Maybe SofM can go back to base. Flandre is doing the exact same thing, using the Gangplank cake, slowing them down, controlling the waves. IG, because they're running straight to the Baron buff. That's why they're trying to slow them down, buy some time. 38 seconds left on their mid laner in the Death Chamber.
At the very least, Snake did manage to pick up the dragon off of that. They picked up the mountain dragon, but now here comes the Baron. The Baron is up, and as you said, Guoguo is down for the count. And actually, Crystal, I don't think they really want this. He's gone towards the bottom lane. He sees this massive minion wave. He's just going to try and get bigger in terms of gold, and Invictus Gaming get themselves a very free Baron.
Yeah, everyone on IG gets 300 gold and the Baron buff. Crystal will pick himself up about 400 to 500 gold, but no buff. He will still get that money, however, so relative to the AD carry trading with the entire enemy team of IG, could be worse, is what you would say is the end result of that. Now, Snake on the back foot. That Baron buff we mentioned earlier as being a catalyst for where IG can actually break the base, end the game. Well, now it's in their hands, and they have the capabilities to do so.
Now about grouping up and actually looking towards a bit of a 1-3-1 right here. They send Rookie down to the bottom lane, pushing out the minion wave. Maybe he will now start to group with the rest of his team and go back to that 1-4. But Snake will be able to match them anyways. They will have a fairly decent 1-3-1, so makes sense for Rookie to try and come into this 4 once again.
Still very good wave clear to be seen from the Snake roster. So 1-4, 1-3-1. However Snake want to play this, wherever the Gangplank and Ryze and Xayah are, they can clear waves. They're actually looking more towards Hudie again to try and get those engages off at apt moments when IG are out of position, and that's the risk here, right? Snake can look at 1-3-1s. They can look at clearing waves very well. IG need to be grouped more often than not. The Gnar is the only person who can split, or Snake will see this opportunity and they will run at you with it.
And SofM, he's always on the flank, always looking for the opportunity. But he is this time a big tanky Jax, so he can be doing so with a little bit more freedom than when he's a squishy Kha'Zix. Unfortunately, the mid tower and mid inhibitor are now down. Top wave will now be pushed in by Invictus Gaming. SofM trying to push out this minion wave and buy time. But the question is, when are they actually going to draw the line? Because currently Invictus Gaming are taking a lot from them.
Well, TheShy just hit Mega Gnar, so the opportunity is not really there right now unless they find the pick. And IG
is thinking about it, but Guoguo, he has to go down into the Zhonya's. In comes the engage now by Hudie. It's a triple charm, but he's already dead. And now they move into the base. The tower just needs a tap. Baolan, that's a bunch of damage on them coming in from Flandre. They might be routed right here. TheShy will also fall. They finish off the tower, but that's a 2-for-2 trade.
IG overstepping without their AD carry or mid laner. The Gangplank ultimate was a big part of zoning them. The Guardian Angel is gone from JackeyLove as well, but the inhibitor will fall down. TheShy and Ning, though they die, will at least be able to trade something for their lives. And It's still a win in the end for Invictus Gaming. They've acknowledged how far ahead they really are, of course, as a team. Even though it's not reflected massively in the gold, their composition with that Baron buff can just push forwards aggressively constantly. Now Hudie goes forward, Shockwave, I'm pretty sure hits just him, unfortunately. But whilst it will do a lot of damage, they'll kill him immediately. JackeyLove's in GA. Now the rest of IG, they've gone forwards, they're diving. They're doing very well, Snake trying to kite this one and defuse it. Crystal plays exceptionally well specifically to play a big part of that, but still they lose the inhibitor. So even this individual amazing moments from the Snake roster is in a losing situation.
Because even if you go equal, that's not going to be equal in terms of the rest of the game. You're still losing structures. And Invictus Gaming, I feel like if someone just acknowledged the fact that they maybe needs to kill the tower, because it definitely was one tap away as everyone smelled blood in the water and were like, kills, kills, kills. Didn't see the tower that's railing on a bunch of the frontliners right there. And also, that was a big group up to a Flandre barrel. So that's something to be cognizant of, that, you know, Gangplank landing a big barrel at this stage in the game.
When you think about it, you know, like Jarvan, they're just going to fight
they're just going to go and get that knock up onto SofM. He's going to flash away though and get to safety. Flandre will have to do the same, and the lockdown onto Ning is good. He's also dropped low in terms of health, but no one is dead.
Ning's super low, and he's going to stay at that state as well. No healing to be seen unless he has that Warmogs, which I believe he does. So he's going to be a happy camper then, all things considered. IG, last inhibitor is in their sights.
Taking down this tower, they have one last remaining minion to get rid of that backdoor bonus. And Snake, they go back to base, they get a bunch of their health back. Hudie's still down to half, though. He just really needs to be there for the initial knock-up and charm. Invictus Gaming are onto this inhibitor. Where do Snake draw the line? They're not doing it right now. They're going to let this inhibitor fall.
They can't. They cannot do that when TheShy just ticks over to Gnar. And at the same time, Rookie and JackeyLove are never standing next to each other.
Yeah.
If you're looking for any moment for Snake, it's a double cake that hits both of them, or it's Rakan being able to engage on both of them. And again, the strength that a Rakan has in any team composition is that the opposing team can't buy a QSS to get out of it. You have to QSS and flash if you're going to do anything. And when summoner spells aren't available, then perhaps those opportunities arise.
Good sense there from Crystal. Had he gone for that minion wave that was just ever so slightly outside of the base, there were 5 members of IG ready to pounce on him and end the game right there. That is the major issue, you know, Snake can't really find that way in. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's TheShy, like, timing when he goes Mega, but it's every single time they're pushing in. And TheShy goes Mega, there's not a chance to really engage on them.
I think the crowd are feeling it, Pulse. 39 minutes into the game, Snake somehow find themselves in the middle of the map, able to reset for a short amount of time. The crowd starts chanting.
Yeah.
They know that this is going to be an uphill battle at all, but in Snake's home arena, they want it.
Oh no, that was a recall coming in from Flandre. Crystal completely by himself. Hudie just managed to lock up 4 people by himself though. What a defense from Hudie.
You just can't stop this Rakan from getting the engages. He is too clean. He's honestly just running around squeaky. But it's only to save his team every single time. So the Elder Dragon now at risk, no one there to stop IG. And that was the only moment they had that Flandre recalled. He wasn't able to defend. Double super minions in every respective lane. I don't realistically think Snake had a chance to do anything there. Just really good covering of Crystal being out of position by Hudie.
Right, that is really the problem. All of those ultimates being used defensively, and now Invictus Gaming without that Rakan ultimate. What else do they have left? They're looking towards Guoguo, looking towards SofM for the CC. And Crystal, can he put down the damage? Does he even have enough of it at this point of the game? Shockwave onto Crystal! He hits the Featherstorm, he's already dead! Rookie removes him from the map! Meanwhile, the backline, TheShy is keeping Flandre and Hudie completely wrapped up. Guoguo is going to get a kill of his own, but now he's completely by himself. He'll take the ultimate back to base, but the rest of the team is not going to be so lucky. Invictus Gaming is a complete whitewash. Guoguo goes back further, 4 kills to 1. Invictus Gaming looking to finish.
And it's Rookie who starts it off, and it's Rookie who'll finish it for Invictus Gaming.
Invictus Gaming, 40 minutes in game 2, a clean sweep over Snake, and they escape the Snake pit.
They're the second team in the LPL Spring Split for 2018 to actually make it out of the Snake pit alive. The Chongqing Arena, the home crowd of Snake supporting them. And it wasn't enough today because it was a clean 2-0 ultimately for IG. They should be happy about the end result. They looked decent in the end. We saw moments of brilliance from Snake. We did see some good things on the opposite side, but it was never really enough. There was never any full cohesion to be seen, and it did always just feel like they were losing in the end.
And streaks came to die today, but it was Snakes, their 6th series winning streak after only losing their first 2. FPX will come to a close today. As Invictus Gaming, it will continue. That is their 8th consecutive win now in the LPL this season.
Dominant so far in this split, a team that we touted as potentially one of the best. With an upgrade in the AD carry position, JackeyLove has looked good today, but it's not just JackeyLove, it's those rookies we saw from 2017 that are continuing to improve. TheShy and Ning stepping up. And if you can keep Duke on the bench, then you are doing very well in that top lane.
And we take a look at that goal graph as well. Accelerates around the 24. I believe last game was about the 25-minute mark. That's where it really started to accelerate from Invictus Gaming. But it was about that control that they had. You know, we were looking towards Flandre. It was just like, well, now he's got the Gangplank. Is he able to do something? But wasn't unfortunately the case. So, you know, Invictus Gaming, they come out with another win here today.
Yeah, we got to see top lane win both sides of the matchup. Whilst we saw a nice change in terms of draft from Snake, you'd still be looking at the Xayah Rakan, some extra engage down there specifically from Hudie, who I think had an absolute blinder of a game individually. Yeah. It was never enough in terms of team play, and IG drafted a strong 5v5 in terms of team play. They're able to carry that out very successfully. And
that was it. It was great stand-up performances by individuals, but not enough, unfortunately, to get the win there today. We are going to, however, take a quick break before we set up for our match of the week, coming right back after this.